Elena sat in her pickup truck. The engine made a soft, rumbling sound in the cool morning air. She held a warm cup of coffee, mostly just to warm her hands. Through the window of a small roadside shop, she saw a man. He was standing by the bus stop. He didn't look homeless. He just looked down. His clothes were old, but they were clean. He held his thin jacket closed. He just stared straight ahead, not looking at anyone. He looked like a man waiting for a bus that was never going to come. People rushed past him, holding their own bags and phones. They walked around him, leaving a little space. Elena watched him for a whole minute. She saw how he held his jaw, how tired he looked just standing there. It was a look she knew. It was the look of someone who was trying hard to look proud, but who felt very sad and hopeless inside. She had felt that way for months. She was stuck working with someone who made her feel like she was in a cage. She made a quick choice. She put her truck in park, grabbed her coffee, and got out. "Excuse me," she said as she walked up to him. The man startled. His eyes looked at her. They were smart eyes, but very tired and careful. "Yes?" "I don't want to bother you," Elena said. Her voice was calm. "I saw you waiting. Are you looking for a job?" He looked like he was waiting for a mean joke. When no joke came, he stood up a little straighter. "I am," he said. His voice was quiet. "I have a job at a construction site," she said, pointing down the street. "We're fixing up an old building in the Abuja industrial area. I need someone to help clean up, fix walls and move things. It's hard work." He nodded once. "I can work hard. The pay isn't a lot, but it's a steady job," she said. "I'm interested." She liked that. He didn't beg. He didn't try to say how great he was. He just told her the truth. She pulled a pen and a business card from her jacket. She turned the card over to the blank side. "The site is in Edu, plot 445. Can you be there on November 10th? That's 2 days from now." "November 10th, he repeated. "Yes." "Be there at 7 in the morning. Ask for me, Elena." She wrote the address and time on the card. He took it from her. His hands looked rough. "Thank you, Elena. My name is Marco." "See you then, Marco." She walked back to her truck. She could feel him watching her. She got in and drove away. She didn't know if he would show up, but she had to do it. She couldn't just sit and watch him be ignored. As she drove through the Abuja traffic, she hoped he would be there. November the 10th was a hazy morning, the air thick with harmattan dust. Marco got to the Edu industrial area site at 6:45 a.m. He had taken 2 buses to get there from the small room he was renting. The site was a big warehouse, gutted and quiet. A tall fence was all around it. He saw Elena's truck parked nearby. He stood by the gate and waited. A few minutes before 7, Elena came out of a small site office, a small prefab container. She was holding a clipboard. She saw him and nodded. She gave him a small, nice smile. "Marco, you're early. I like that." She unlocked the gate. "Come on in. I'll show you where to start." She led him inside. The warehouse was huge and empty, like just the bones of a building. Dust floated in the light from the few work lights. "We're fixing this place up for a new tech company," she told him. "It's been hard. The last crew just left." She stopped in one part of the main floor. It was a big mess. There were piles of pop dust, open buckets of wall filler, tools, and pieces of metal. "The last guy who worked here just vanished," she said. "He left all his stuff. Your job today is to clean all this up, put the trash in bags, pile up the good pieces, sweep it all clean. After that, you can start on the patchwork. See these?" She pointed to parts of the wall that were fixed, but looked very messy. "This all needs to be sanded smooth and fixed right. Can you do that?" "Yes," Marco said. He looked at the mess. It was just a job to be done. He set his small backpack down. "Brooms, bags, and filler are in the storage shed," Elena said. "You'll find sandpaper and tape too. Lunch is at noon." "Thank you," he said. She looked at him for a moment. "Just do good work, Marco." "I will." She left. He got to work. He found a broom and a big trash bin. He started cleaning the floor. He had a steady rhythm, sweep, shovel, dump. He didn't rush. He just did it right. He sorted the good metal pieces. He stacked the leftover plasterboards. Around 10 o'clock, he was cleaning behind some metal studs. He saw something stuck. It was a man's wallet. He pulled it out. It was full of cards but had no cash. The ID card was for a man he didn't know. It must be the worker who left. He walked over to the site office and knocked. She looked up. "What's up?" He held out the wallet. "I found this." Elena took it. Her eyes got wide. She opened it and looked at the ID. "Leo, the guy who vanished." "Wow." She looked up at Marco. "You're an honest man." Marco just shrugged. "It's not mine." He turned and walked back to his spot. He picked up the sandpaper and started to smooth the wall. The shh sound of the sandpaper was the only sound in his corner. It felt good to be working. Elena spent her morning on the phone. She was arguing with a supplier about some tiles that were late. When she finally hung up, her head hurt. She looked out the office window. Marco was still working. A small cloud of white dust was around him. He was a good worker, quiet and focused. Around 3 o'clock, she heard a loud car engine. A fancy black sports car skidded to a stop, throwing dust everywhere. Elena's stomach got tight. Victor. He slammed the car door and walked onto the site. He walked like he owned the place. He wore expensive jeans and boots that had never been muddy. "Elena," he yelled. His voice was loud in the empty building. "Where are the new pipes?" "They're late," she said, stepping out of the office. "I just got off the phone with them." "Late?" He scoffed. "You should have called them days ago. You're useless." He looked past her and saw Marco. "Who the hell is that?" "That's Marco. I hired him to clean up and fix the walls." "You hired him?" Victor walked closer. He looked at Marco like he was dirt. "He looks like he slept under the bridge." "You're letting stray men on our site now." "He's a hard worker, Victor. The last guy you hired just left." Victor ignored her. He walked right over to the wall Marco was working on. He rubbed his hand on the wall. "This is rubbish." "What is this, your first day?" "It's the first try," Marco said. His voice was very quiet. "Don't talk back to me," Victor snapped. Just then, Marco turned to move a big new piece of plasterboard. He was holding it on his side. He bumped the corner of a table. The big sheet tipped. He tried to catch it, but it was too heavy. The corner hit the floor with a thud and broke. It was a small mistake. The board cost 15,000 naira. It was easy to fix, but Victor exploded. "You idiot!" he screamed. His face turned bright red. "Are you blind, you stupid fool?" He walked right up and got in Marco's face. Marco just stood still. His hands were open. "You break my things, you pay for it." Victor yelled. "What are you, some beggar? Is that it? You come here and break my site?" "It was an accident," Marco said. His voice was low and dangerous. "I don't care." Victor poked a finger at him. "You're fired. Get your things. Get off my site. Now." Elena's blood went cold, then hot. She walked over and stood right between the two men. "Victor, stop it. Now." "Get out of my way, Elena," Victor growled. He tried to push past her. "No," she said. Her voice was strong. "It was one piece of plasterboard. He's not fired." "The hell he isn't. I'm the boss here." "You're not the only boss," Elena said, right back at him. "This is our project, Victor. We own this together. You always forget that when you throw a fit." Marco had not moved. He was watching Victor with a very still, cold look. Victor's anger turned toward Elena. She had challenged him in front of a worker. "You want to play boss?" he hissed. He grabbed her arm. His grip was too tight. He pulled her away from Marco, toward the site office. "Let go of me, Victor." She pulled her arm free. "You want to run things? You want to hire useless men? Fine," he said. His voice was full of hate. "Buy me out." Elena laughed, but it was a sad, angry laugh. "With what? You know we've spent all the money on supplies." "That's your problem. I want my money for this job. 15 million naira. She couldn't breathe. 15 million? For what? You haven't done half the work. "It's for my time, my name, the bank loans. That's my price. And I want it by tomorrow." "Tomorrow," she said. The word sounded crazy. "That's impossible. You know that." "Tomorrow," Victor said again, pointing his finger at her. "End of the day. You get me my 15 million naira and I leave, if you don't." He smiled, but it was a cold, scary smile. "I'm taking everything. The bank loan is in my name, darling. The permits are in my name. I'll tell the lawyers to lock you out. I'll finish the job myself. You'll have nothing." He looked past her at Marco. who was quietly packing his bag. And I'll still fire him. He turned and walked back to his fancy car. Tomorrow, Elena. He got in, revved the engine, and sped away. Elena just stood there. She felt trapped. She looked over at Marco. He had his bag and was looking at her, waiting. "You're not fired," she said. Her voice was scratchy. "Please, come back tomorrow." He nodded once. "I'll be here." He walked to the gate, let himself out, and started the long walk home. Elena did not sleep that night. She sat at her kitchen table with all the project's bills spread out. There was no 15 million naira. Every penny was already being used. The only way to get that money was a special loan, and the payments would ruin her. She was still in her work clothes when she heard a knock. It was almost 9 o'clock. She looked through the peephole. Victor. Her stomach clenched. She opened the door, just a little. "What do you want, Victor?" He pushed the door open and she had to step back. He was holding a bottle of wine. He was acting completely different. The anger was gone. He was trying to be charming. "Elena, come on. We're fighting. I hate it when we fight." He walked into her flat as if he still lived there. "We're not fighting, Victor. You threatened to ruin me." "That was just business," he said, waving his hand. He put the wine on her counter. "I miss you. I miss us." He reached out to touch her arm. She pulled away. "Don't." "Elena," he sighed. His voice was soft and low. "That thing with Sophia. It was nothing. You know that." "It meant you lied," Elena said. Her voice was flat. "It meant you kissed her at our own party, where everyone could see. It means you cheat, Victor. Again." "So I kissed her. It's not a big deal. It's you I want. It's always been you. We built this whole thing, you and me." He stepped closer. He tried to trap her against the counter. "Don't let one dumb fight ruin it." He leaned in to kiss her. Elena put her hand on his chest and shoved him, hard. "No." He stepped back, surprised. The charming look was gone. Anger flashed in his eyes. "No, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sleep with you to fix this. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not someone you can just push around." Victor's face got hard and cold. "Fine, be that way." He picked up the bottle of wine. "I was trying to be nice. I was trying to give you an easy way out." "That wasn't an easy way, Victor. You were trying to force me." "Call it what you want," he sneered. "My other offer is still good. 15 million naira, tomorrow. Or you're out, and I won't be nice about it." He walked to the door and pulled it open. "You should have taken the deal, Elena. You'll be sorry." He slammed the door. Elena fell into a chair. Her hands were shaking. He wouldn't just take the business. He would try to destroy her. She had until 5 p.m. tomorrow to find a miracle. The next morning, the worksite felt heavy and quiet. Elena was in the site office, calling banks. She kept hearing no, one after another. Victor was not there. He was letting her sweat. Marco showed up at 7 a.m. just like he said. He nodded to Elena and went to his spot. He started putting tape on the wall seams he had sanded. His hands moved smoothly. He was a small, calm spot in the middle of Elena's storm. Around 10:30, a shiny white G-Wagon pulled into the lot. It looked strange next to all the mud and tools. A woman in a sharp suit and expensive sunglasses got out. She looked at the building like she smelled something bad. She saw Marco, who was outside getting a bucket of water. Her face twisted into a mean look. "Marco?" she called out. Her voice was sharp and loud. "My God, is this what you're doing? Construction?" Marco froze. He set the bucket down very slowly. "Isabella, not here." She clicked across the gravel in her high heels. She was holding a big envelope. "Where else, Marco?" "You don't have an office. You don't have a home, just that sad little room. You lost everything." A few other workers, a pair of electricians, had stopped to watch. Marco's face was tight. His back was stiff. "I'm working, Isabella." "Working," she scoffed and then laughed. "You used to own a business. You had important clients. Now, you're a laborer. You should be so ashamed. You're a failure." "What do you want?" he asked. "I'm not going down with you," she said. Her voice was like ice. She pushed the envelope into his chest. He had to grab it. "Divorce papers," she said loudly. "I won't be tied to your mistakes. I want the house. It's in both our names, but I'm keeping it. It's the least you owe me for this mess." Marco just looked at the envelope. His work shirt was already dirty. "I'll see you in court, Marco. Or my lawyer will." She turned, her heels digging in the dirt. She got in her clean white car and sped away. Marco stood there for a long time, holding the papers. Then he put the envelope in his backpack and picked up the bucket of water. Marco carried the bucket back to his spot. The electricians looked away and went back to their work. He mixed the water into a new bucket of wool filler. The whirring sound of the mixer was the only noise. He was not ashamed. He was angry. But it was a cold, quiet anger. Isabella only saw what was on the outside. She saw the dirty clothes, the cheap room. She saw that he fell from a big office to a concrete floor. She had no idea what was really going on. He thought about the house. It was a beautiful duplex in Guarimpa. They bought it when his logistics company was doing great. She loved that house. She loved what it showed people, that they were rich, successful, and safe. She loved the house more than she ever loved him. The papers in his bag were an ending, but they also meant he was free. "You can have the house, Isabella," he whispered to himself. He would not fight her for it. Fighting would mean lawyers. It would mean they would ask questions. It would mean she would find out about Technova. Technova was his last secret bet. When his own company started to fail, he sold the last things he owned. Isabella was spending a lot of money. Instead of paying her bills, he moved the money. He put every last kobo into a new small tech company. It was a big, big risk. He had hidden it from Isabella. He told himself it was to protect her from worrying. But he knew deep down he was protecting it from her. If the company failed, she would never know. If it did well. A small, hard smile touched his lips. "I didn't waste it," he'd told her once. "I invested it." She thought he was a broken man, a failure. He was okay with that. Let her think that. Let her take the house. He would sign the papers. He would give her what she thought was important. He dipped his tool into the fresh filler. He spread it on the wall, a long, smooth, perfect line. He would build his life again. He was already doing it. From the office window, Elena had seen it all. The white G-Wagon, the beautiful, mean woman, the way she pushed the papers at Marco, the way he just stood there and took it. He acted with a quiet strength that she could not break. It made Elena's own problems with Victor feel smaller, but also more important. She was dealing with a bully. Marco was dealing with something worse. She waited an hour. Victor was still gone. The 5 p.m. deadline felt like a bomb ticking in her head. She had 6 hours to find 15 million naira or lose everything. She grabbed her keys. She had to get out, to think. She walked past Marco. "I'm going to get lunch," she said. "I'll be back." He just nodded. He didn't look up from his work. She drove to a small roadside spot. She ordered 2 plates of jollof rice and chicken. She sat in her truck and ate one, but the food didn't taste like anything. Her mind was racing. Credit cards? No, not enough. Sell my truck. Not fast enough. My parents? They would just say, "I told you so," about Victor. She looked at the other plate of food. She drove back to the site. Marco was still working. He had almost finished the whole wall. "Hey," she said, walking up to him. He looked at her, then back at the wall. "I brought you lunch." She held out the bag. Jollof rice. He stopped working. He wiped his hands on a rag and looked at her. His eyes were dark. The careful, worried look from the bus stop was gone. Now he just looked very, very tired. "You didn't have to do that," he said. "I wanted to. Eat. Take a break." He took the bag. "Thank you, Elena." They sat on a pile of plasterboards a few feet apart. They didn't talk. The site was quiet around them. "That was your ex-wife," Elena said finally. He nodded. He was chewing. "Isabella, yes." "She seemed nice," Elena said. A small, dry laugh came out of him. It was a rough sound. "She has her moments. That wasn't one of them." "You're a good worker, Marco," Elena said, looking at the wall. "This wall looks perfect. It's better than the last crew." "I used to build things," he said simply, "a long time ago." "You're a good man too," she said. Her voice was softer. "Don't let them tell you that you're not." He looked at her, really looked at her. He saw the worry lines around her eyes. He saw how tight she held her shoulders. "You have your own problems, don't you?" She nodded. Her throat felt tight. "My own ex. Victor, he's..." He's not a good man. She looked at her watch. 1:30 p.m. I saw the papers she gave you, Elena said, to end your marriage. Yes. I have to go to her lawyer's office tomorrow at 10 a.m. to sign them. Elena didn't even know if she would have a sight tomorrow, but the words came out anyway. Do you want someone to go with you? For support? He was quiet for a long time. He just looked at the rice in his hands. Yes, he said at last. I think I would like that. Very much. The next morning, nothing felt real. Victor hadn't shown up. His 5 p.m. deadline had passed. Elena felt like she was just waiting for the bad thing to happen. She told the electricians to keep working. She met Marco by her truck at 9:30 a.m. Are you sure you can leave? He asked. Victor's not here, she said. He's either trying to make me scared or he's at the courthouse. Either way, me sitting there won't change it. Let's go. The lawyer's office was in a fancy, tall building in Maitama. It was all glass and shiny marble. Isabella was already there, tapping her foot and checking her watch. She was wearing a nice silk shirt. She looked at Marco's clean old work pants with a mean look. She barely looked at Elena. You're late, Isabella snapped. It's 9:58, Marco said. Alawaya in a sharp suit came out. Mr. Torres. Miss Alvarez? This way, please. Elena gave Marco a small nod. I'll be right here. He followed Isabella and the lawyer into a big room. Elena sat in the waiting area. She picked up a magazine and pretended to read. Inside the room, the lawyer put a pile of papers on the big, polished table. This is a simple set of papers to end your marriage. As you discussed, Miss Alvarez will keep the house in Guarimpa. Mr. Torres agrees to give up the house. Isabella was already getting her pen out. It's all very simple, the lawyer said. Marco held up his hand. One moment. Isabella sighed, a loud fake sound. What now, Marco? Are you going to fight me for a toaster? I thought you were done. I'm not fighting, Marco said. He looked at the lawyer. I want one change, an extra rule. An extra rule? The lawyer looked annoyed. About what? I want the papers to say that I keep everything from my personal investment in a company called Technova. Isabella laughed. It was a loud, mean laugh. Technova? That company you wasted our money on? That worthless little thing? That's what you want. It's what I want, Marco said. His face was calm. Fine, Isabella said, throwing her hands up. Who cares? It's worthless. Put it in. He can have his pretend company. I get the house. Put it in, Marco said again to the lawyer. The lawyer looked upset. This will take a minute. I have to write the new page and print it. It will cost extra. I'll pay it, Isabella snapped. Just get it done. I have a lunch meeting. The lawyer left the room. Isabella tapped her pen on the table. Marco just sat, his hands folded, watching the cars on the street far below. The lawyer came back 10 minutes later. He had one new page. Here is the new rule, he said. It says that Mr. Torres keeps 100% of the company called Technova. Miss Alvarez agrees to make no claim on it. He pointed. Sign here and here. Miss Alvarez, here and here. Then you both sign the last page. They signed. The lawyer took the pages, stamped them, and made copies. It's done, the lawyer said. He gave a copy to each of them. You are now, by law, no longer married. Isabella stood up and grabbed her purse. She didn't look at Marco. Well, that's done. Thank God. Try not to lose your copy. She started to walk out the door. Isabella, Marco said. She stopped and turned around. What? Do you need transport money? I just wanted to thank you, he said. His voice was calm. She scoffed. For what? For taking the house? For being fair. You wanted the house. It's a good trade. It's worth what? 400 million naira? At least, she said. Her eyes got small. So? The Technova rule, he said. I just want to be honest now that it's all finished. I got an email this morning, right before I left for work. An email about your worthless little company? How nice for you. Yes, Marco said. A much bigger company is buying it. The deal was approved last night. It's being announced on the news right now. My worthless little company is now worth just over 1.5 billion naira. The color left Isabella's face. The room was completely quiet. Even the lawyer froze. You... What? Isabella whispered. 1.5 billion naira actually, Marco said. You... You lied to me, she stuttered. Her voice got high and shaky. You tricked me. No, Marco said, standing up. I let you have the house. You agreed I could keep my investment. We both signed. The marriage is over. He straightened his old flannel shirt. You can't, she shrieked. That's half mine. I'll sue you. And say what? The lawyer said, finally speaking. He looked sick. You both signed the paper. Isabella, you clearly gave up all claims. It's done. Have a good life, Isabella, Marco said. He walked past her. He walked out of the room. Elena was standing in the waiting area, looking worried. She saw the look on his face. He didn't look proud. He just looked free. He nodded at her. It's done. Are you okay? She asked. I'm better than okay, he said. They walked to the elevator together. They could hear Isabella starting to scream behind them. They drove back to the site. It was a strange, quiet ride. Marco seemed to be thinking. Elena's mind was filled with her own problem. Victor. The 15 million naira. When they pulled into the lot, her worst fear was there. Victor's black sports car was parked right in front of the site office, blocking the door. He's here, she said. Her voice was tight. Elena, Marco said, no matter what happens, you're not alone. She gave him a thankful look. Thank you. They got out of the truck. Victor was waiting. He was leaning against the office door with his arms crossed. He didn't even look at Marco. Well, he said to Elena, leaving work to go on a date with your new boyfriend. How sweet. We had to do something, Victor. What do you want? What do I want? I want what we agreed on. It's after 10 a.m. The banks are open. Where is my money? Elena took a deep breath. I don't have it, Victor. I need more time. The project is good. I just need a few weeks to fix the money. No, he said, shaking his head. No more time. I gave you your chance. He stepped closer to her. His voice got low and sly. But I can be a nice guy. I told you that. He reached out and touched her hair. She jumped back. We could work something out, he said. You know I still want you, Elena. Spend the night with me. We'll talk about the money in the morning. Maybe I'll forget all about that 15 million. Elena felt sick to her stomach. He was saying this here, in front of Marco, in front of her other workers. Get away from me, she hissed. Or what? He sneered. You'll have nothing. This whole project will be gone. I'll get the lawyers this afternoon. You'll be locked out by tomorrow. I'll take it all. I would rather have nothing, she said, her voice shaking with anger, than ever spend one more second with you. Victor's face got dark. She had said no to him in front of everyone. He lost his control. Fine, he roared, then you're out. This is my site now. He turned and pointed at Marco, who was standing by the truck, just watching. And you're the first to go. You, useless man, get your tools and get off my property. You're fired. Marco did not move. He just stood there, his face calm. Elena ran up. Victor, no, you can't. It's done, Elena. Victor shouted, pointing his finger at her. It's over. This is my site now. I'm in charge, and he is gone. Marco took one slow step forward. He pulled his phone from his pocket. It was an older phone, a little beaten up, but it worked. 15 million, he said. Victor stopped yelling. What did you say? That's what she owes you for your part, right? Marco asked. His voice was even. 15 million naira. Victor laughed, a short, ugly sound. What's it to you? You going to write me a check? You don't even have 15,000. Give me your bank account number, Marco said. Elena stared. Her heart was pounding. What was he doing? Victor was confused, but he was still angry. Why? So you can send me the 10,000 you made yesterday. Your account number. Now. Marco's voice was strong. It cut right through Victor's yelling. You're crazy, Victor said, but he was also curious. He wanted to see what would happen. Fine, you want it? It's GTB. Account 001457092. Marco's thumbs tapped on his phone. He was in his banking app. Elena watched. She was too shocked to speak. He tapped a few more times. There, Marco said. A second later, Victor's phone, which he was holding, buzzed. He looked at it. His mean look froze. His mouth fell open. He stared at the screen. His face went pale. It was a credit alert from his bank. Credit, 15 million naira. How? Victor whispered. He looked from his phone to Marco, then to Elena, then back to his phone. How did you? That's not possible. Marco slipped his phone back into his pocket. He looked at Elena. It's paid, he said. Victor was still looking at his phone. He couldn't say a word. In 30 seconds, everything had changed. All his power, all his threats, all his control. It was gone. It was taken away by a man he had called useless. Elena looked at Victor. The fear she had lived with for months, fear of his anger, his tricks, his threats. It all just disappeared. All she felt was a cold, hard calm. You got your money, Victor, she said. Her voice was strong. Elena, Wait, he said. He finally looked up from his phone. What's going on? Who is this guy? You're done here, she said. What? You can't. This is my project now, Elena said, taking a step toward him. Your part is paid for. You just saw the money. She pointed to the gate, the same way he had pointed at Marco. Get off my sight. Elena, be smart, he tried to say. His voice was not strong anymore. It was scared. We can still. We're partners. No, she said, we're not. You tried to trap me. You made fun of my workers. You tried to trade this whole project for a date. You are tricky and you are mean and you are bad for me. She stood tall. We are done, in business and in everything. Get out. Victor looked at her cold, strong face, then he looked at Marco's calm, steady face. He had no more tricks to play. He lost. His face got twisted with anger. You'll be sorry, Elena, both of you. He stormed to his car, pulled the door open and got in. He spun his tires in the dust. One last childish show. Then he sped away. The site was quiet. The dust from Victor's car slowly floated down. The two electricians who had been watching quietly went back to work. Elena turned to Marco. She was shaking a little. Marco, she said, her voice was just a whisper, 1 billion naira, and 15 million. You just sent it. He nodded. The new company finished buying Technova last week. I was just waiting for the money. It went into my bank account this morning, right before we went to the lawyer's office. But, Isabella, the house. Why didn't you? He let out a long breath. I knew she was going to ask for a divorce. I've been acting poor for months. My old company did fail. That part was true. I had very little left, but I took that little bit and I put it all into Technova. I could not let Isabella know. Why? Because she's like Victor, he said, his voice quiet. She only cares about things, not people. If she knew Technova might be worth money, she would have fought me for half. She would have made the divorce last for years. She would have said it was her money too. And she would have won. Elena understood. So you let her. You let her say those mean things to you. Yesterday. I let her think I was broken, he said. I let her think she was winning. I let her take the house. That was a thing she could see and understand. In return, I got her to sign a paper for something she thought was worthless. He looked at the building, at the wall he had been fixing. She thought she was taking everything I had left. But she left me with more than I ever had with her. I lost the house, but I got my freedom. And my future. Elena stared at him. The man she had given a job to because she felt sorry for him. The man she bought jollof rice for had just outsmarted everyone. He was patient. He was clever. He was, she realized, a very smart man. The 15 million, Elena said. Her mind snapped back to the money she now owed him. I have to pay you back. I mean it. I can't pay it all at once, but I can pay you a little bit at a time. I can pay you when the project makes money. With extra. No, he said, stopping her gently. No, Marco, I can't accept that. It's too much. Elena, he said. He stepped a little closer. The morning harmattan was gone. The afternoon sun was warm. When I was at that bus stop, I had 1 billion naira coming to my bank, but I didn't have enough money for a bus ticket. I felt like no one could even see me. He looked right into her eyes. You saw me. You didn't see a beggar. You saw someone who could work. You offered me a job. You made me feel like I mattered. Yesterday you brought me lunch and sat with me after my ex-wife tried to make me feel small. That is worth more than 15 million naira. But still, she said. It's business. Then think of it as a good investment, he said, in this project, in you. I'm a good investor, remember? She laughed. It was a small, shaky sound. I can't just let you do this. You want to pay me back? He asked. Yes. How? He smiled. It was the first time she had seen him really, truly smile. The tiredness was gone from his eyes. There was a warm light in them. Have dinner with me. Elena stopped. Her heart felt like it did a little jump. As payment? No, he said, his voice soft. As a date. A chance to know you. When we're not covered in wall dust or dealing with our mean exes. A slow smile spread across her face, the fear, the worry, the heavy weight of the last few months. It all just lifted off her shoulders. I'd like that, she said. I'd like that a lot. Good, Marco said. He looked at his hands, covered in white dust, and then at her. Shall we go clean up? He offered her his arm. She laughed, and wiping the dust off her own arm, she took it. They walked off the site together, leaving the half-finished building behind them. They were ready to start something new,